I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music. Today, guys, we're going to review Sun Lux's his newest album, We Are Rising. Now, this was part of the NPR RPM challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You want to explain really quick what that is?
What it is that NPR challenges people to make an album that's either like 8 tracks or around 35 minutes in 1 month. All new material, written, produced, all in the month of February, the shortest month of the year. That's why they have it then. And Sun Lux decided to step up to the plate and do it, and We Are Rising is the result.
Yeah, and he had pretty much, this is not his first full release.
No.
Like, he had another album before this,
Yeah.
I think. And it's all, everything's been done independently so far.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I was making, you know, the page for this episode, and finding the different links and stuff that I normally find, like he's running a blog. A blog is his website on Tumblr. I mean, it sounds like something that we're doing just out of a basement, you know.
It's pretty low scale, and that's why I'm glad that we're able to bring some attention to it, because it's good.
Now, he had a limit to the amount of the length of the album.
I don't know if that's like a maximum limit. I think it's more of a minimum or just kind of an average.
It has to be
around then. Yeah.
Right. And obviously with this shorter time limit, you're not going to be able to make a huge amount of material, of high quality material. Well, in Sun Lux, I mean, this album is like what? Almost 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Getting up there. And it's about 9 tracks long. Now, here's the thing with 9-track albums. It means that your song lengths are probably around that 4 to 5 minute range, which is a good range if you know what you're doing. And Sun Lux, I think, in general, knows what he's doing, because I find that there are some really damn good songs here. But one comment before I want to describe Sun Lux's music, because this might be a band that most people haven't heard of, is if you look at the album cover for We Are Rising, it's this, like, it says Sun Lux, but it's like all these like rainbow colored smoke, like these neon colors just being pumped up. That's exactly how this sounds to me.
It is.
You just have this huge mix of real instrumental, orchestral instrumentals, you know, in strings, and then you also have these electronic elements that come in too, and I really think that he does a very nice job of blending them together. And like the first few tracks are just pretty darn incredible. And then the album kind of goes into this lull where tracks 5, 6, and 7 kind of go into this ambient stage. There's still some cool aspects of them, you know, and they kind of go in and out of these more melodic parts, but there's a lot of ambience to them. But then the last 2 tracks on the album I feel like are stronger. So I feel like the album kind of goes like this, and then goes like this, and then comes like that. And to me, that sag in the middle is really my main criticism of what's holding this back, because I think it loses a lot of momentum. Tom, what do you think?
Overall, though, yeah, I completely agree with you as far as the songs, just the flow of the album. I mean, but you just gotta love this sound.
All right.
It's like, you mentioned St. Vincent to me the other day, and I totally agree with that. I also got kind of like a darker, more electronic Andrew Bird vibe sometimes.
Right. Even like a Sufjan, like if,
yeah. But because there are those elements there, those real elements, but then this is so glossy sounding and so sharp, and Sun Lux, he has this like this hint of like desperation in his vocals that make this sound so dark and mysterious, and that's always an aspect of a sound that's very alluring to me. I really get into that kind of mystery of songs, and that's all over this album. And I love just the complex arrangements and production. But at the same time, and this probably comes back to the nature of the challenge and the context under which he did this album, but it does feel a little short, like it's just kind of a blip, like he throws out his ideas and then they're done. And also, between the tracks, besides the production and just the overall style, I don't get a whole lot of connection. They seem to be very independent songs.
Right.
And I mean, I feel obviously you can't. No, not everyone can be Damon Albarn and make an album in like a month that flows perfectly. But but still, I felt like he could have done a little bit better of a job here. But overall, very impressive. I mean, this has definitely got my attention, and I hope that people take the time to check this out if you're into that kind of electronic sound with the darker vocals and themes.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to point out about Sun Lux's songwriting style is he takes the concept of songwriter and then like evolves or upgrades it into he upgrades it into like more of a composer, like a classical composer.
Absolutely.
He knows. He has this incredible feel for intensity and contrast and dynamics. And that's what makes songs really emotional, really powerful, is when you're able to do that, where distinguish between the highs and the lows in your sound, and all of a sudden you have a really engaging, intense listen. And most of these tracks do that. Even the more ambient tracks focus a little bit on dynamics. And that's something that I think is kind of lost on music today, especially with that verse-chorus format that you guys know me and I hated. But I feel like, you don't get any of that here, and I like that. I love the mix of instruments on this thing, and this is what I'll come back to, even with that little sag in the album. I'm really interested to see what Sun Lux could do, given more time with an album. Yeah. Give it 6 months instead of 4 weeks, and see how it goes, and he could write something truly brilliant. I'm going to come back to this, thus raising my overall score to a 78.
I'm going to meet you right there at 78. Yeah, that's what this is.
I think this is a strong album, worth checking out more just for the variety and just kind of genuineness of this album, and I feel like you can get a lot from it. Now, like I said, this guy has the potential to write something truly genius in the future, so put him on your watch list. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you guys thought. If you listen to We Are Rising or want to listen to We Are Rising, and check it out, and then leave us a comment at www.velocitiesmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesmusic. Also, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, because that's where we do the talking about music nowadays. Live chatting about music is a good time, and we do it all the time. There's 3 of us. We're a 3-headed dragon. Ian rocking out the Tumblr blog at vimtv.tumblr.com. Please, guys, check us out online. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.
And with my open mouth